Hi everybody, this is Romy. We are up in the mountains today. We're looking for snow and we found it. So we're actually up on the top of Wolf Creek in Utah. So what's really cool about this is like the perfect time of the season to get all the different colors. So we have some trees that have already changed and others that are in transition. So you've got the colors are absolutely magnificent. They're awesome. So when I was up here and driving around, and we actually went to another peak where we stayed this summer for a little bit that was also really high, and it's really quiet. You can hear for miles, it seems like. And so what it made me think about is how clear and crisp the energy is up here. And so when I first dove into the natural health aspect, there were some things that seemed kind of weird and hokey to me. So when people started talking about energy, and even the reflexology stuff was really weird for me. That it really stretched me outside of my comfort zone, and it was something that I because I was not used to it, I kept an open mind and really stretched and researched on that. And so one of the things that I have learned is, and really believe, and I think I believed it anyway, it just was the wording and the meaning behind some things, is that everything has energy. And in the Bible, it says the rocks cried out. And so everything has energy. And so one of the things that I was thinking is when we're in an environment like this where the energy is clean and clear and crisp, it's really easy or easier if that's something that you do to really listen to the messages that we can get. I choose to call them, I get downloads from God all the time when I am in an environment like this. And so it's because it's something that I have practiced, and it's something that is important to me to be able to stay on track. And so one of the things that came to mind is I talk about how we want to make sure that we check ourselves at the door when we go into a crowd. So in the mountain atmosphere, or if you have ever been to the ocean and just stood on the beach and listened to the waves crash, that's also another clear, precise, just crispy energy for me. And it's really, it really cleans things up for me. And so if you think about how you feel in those atmospheres and those environments, and then you step into a crowd, and how, if you're paying attention, how that energy kind of feels, maybe, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but you can feel, it just feels, good grief, totally lost the word, I'm sorry. Congested, that's the word I'm looking for. But there's also other feelings that happen to come about when we are in a crowd. And so sometimes we could feel really good before we walk into a crowd, and then all of a sudden we feel really agitated, or we might feel really angry, or there's just other feelings that we might all of a sudden be feeling and wondering what the heck is going on. So one of the things that when I talk about check yourself at the door, is what happens is that we're all sensitive to those different energies and people's feelings and different things like that. And if we don't pay attention to it, and we step into a crowd where a lot of feelings and emotions and energy are running around, we can start to identify with those and start to take those on. So one of the things that I learned is that the enemy will bring about the emotion or the feeling that you are the most familiar with. So I struggle with anxiety. It's a fight, and it's not something that I own. It's something that I pay attention to and refuse to receive. And depression is the same way. I am proactive with that, and but it's something that I'm familiar with. And so if I step into a room and there's people in the room, or even just one person in the room that could have anxiety or depression or whatever, I could feel that. And if I wasn't paying attention, I would all of a sudden, I could take that on as my own. And so that's what I'm talking about with the enemy. The enemy tries to bring about what you're familiar with, and so you take it. So the main thing in that is that you seriously want to check yourself at the door, and you just pay attention to how you feel before you go in there, and that way you don't take on anybody else's junk, because it's not yours. There's no reason for you to take that on, and it just helps to be aware of that. And for me, it has helped me to be able to, because I would purposely not go into crowds. I'm not a fan of going into crowds, and I would go out of my way to not be in those situations. And so now that I'm aware and I'm more conscious of that, I can make sure that I check myself at the door. So if you're not familiar with how all of this works, go and find yourself a really cool, clean area like this, or if you like, you know what it is that clears you up. So go and see how you feel in that environment, and then pay attention to how you feel in an environment in a crowd, or even in a smaller setting like with your family or your friends or something like that. So that to me, that's something that's really important. It has really helped me, and I also wanted to just show you this cool area that we're at. I hope you guys have a great day.